Shalom everybody. Today's shi'ur, in response somebody asked me that I should delve into this topic. The question is kidney donors. Are you allowed to become a kidney donor? Let's say, heaven forbid, a friend or family life is in danger because they have kidney failure, and you have the opportunity to save them by donating one of your kidneys. We know everybody has two kidneys. Is that halachically, ethically, irresponsible and permissible thing allowed to do? Today's shiur is based on Rav Ovadia's, our great master, our prince, king of Torah, Rav Ovadia Yosef, Yechavedat, Chelek Gimel, third Chelek, Pei Dalet, 84. Now, Rav Ovadia, I wanted to also give a disclaimer. The second part of this shiur, God willing, Bli Neder, will be post-human life. Are you allowed to give human body parts? This is not the subject of today's shiur. I haven't researched it. If you are very excited and fascinated by that topic, I would recommend you to the Halachic Organ Donor Society. That's if after 120 years you pass away and you want to save people's lives by donating your body parts. There is an argument to be made that is allowed under certain criterion. So HOD Society, you could just Google it, and maybe God willing we will delve into that. But today we're talking about a live person. Is he allowed to give his kidney to save his friend or family? Now, this question is really dealt with in the Shulchan Aruch, Choshen Mishpat, the fourth. We know that the Jewish Halacha, our GPS to our life, has four sections. Orach Chaim, which is our daily routine, laws of Shabbat, laws of Shema, laws of prayer. Then there's Yoreh De'ah, which is talking about the laws of Kashrut and Mitzvot, and Nidah. Then there's the third part of the Halacha, which is called the Even HaEzer, the laws of wedding and ketubah, and God forbid divorce. And the last part is talking about the monetary law, which is incorporated in the laws of Lo Ta'amud Al Dam Re'echa. So if you look in chapter Taf Kaf Vav, the Bet Yosef brings from the Hagad Ma'in, meaning Yerushalmi. The Talmud Yerushalmi has this fascinating question. Are you obligated to put yourself in a 50-50 minimal amount of danger in order to save your friend from for sure danger? Like, let's say there's armed robbers about to harm your friend, and if you confront them, there is a substantial amount of danger that you may get harmed. Do you have to go and help your friend or not? The Talmud Yerushalmi says yes. As long as you're for sure not committing suicide, it's not a suicidal mission by helping your friend, it's like 50-50, you would be obligated, because there's a law which we will delve into at the end of the class also, that says, Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. The Torah, one of the 613 commands, is don't sit and be lazy and just look the other way while your friend's blood is about to be spilled. We have to proactively save people's lives. If somebody's drowning and you know how to swim, and so on and so forth. Or if there's like a lion about to devour, you're an African safari, you should throw a rock or shoot the lion and not let your friend be devoured by the lion. So therefore, because of that mitzvah, the Yerushalmi also holds here that you would be required to put yourself in a substantial amount of risk, like a 50% amount of risk, in order to for sure save your friend from 100% risk. Which means if you don't do any action, he'll die. If you put yourself in this risk, you may be able to save him. Now this is a big controversy, whether this Yerushalmi is really halacha or not. It seems that there are some poskim that go with this Yerushalmi, the Chavot Yair, and Rabbi Chaim David Abulafia, Rav Ovadia brings. Some people concur with this Yerushalmi that says that what? It is worthwhile to take the risk to put yourself at a 50-50 amount of risks to your life to save your friend from 100% risk of death. But the Sema, one of the most important and fundamental commentators on the Shulchan Aruch Choshen Mishpat, the Sema brings many, many proofs that the most heavyweight poskim and Rishonim argue on this Yerushalmi. Because if you look, the Rambam, Maimonides, the Rif, the Alfasi, and the Rosh do not bring this halacha that you're required to put yourself in a minimal or a 50-50 amount of danger, substantial amount of danger to save your friend's life. And the Shulchan Aruch himself, Rav Yosef Karo, the Jewish, the most comprehensive and conclusive and final law that we all follow to teach us in every instance of our life what to do, does not bring down this Yerushalmi that put yourself in a substantial amount of risk to save your friend from 100% death. And just to explain the Yerushalmi's logic is that, listen, your friend is for sure going to die. You might as well risk a little bit, 50-50, to save his life. But most of the Rishonim reject this logic. The most vehement opposition to this Yerushalmi is the Radvaz. The Rabbeinu Yonah, which we're in the time of Elul, one of the best books about doing repenting is Sha'arei Teshuvah, and also the Radvaz clearly rejects this logic. He says, and the Radvaz says, it's against halacha, it's against your morality and the Torah law to put yourself in a big amount of danger to save somebody else's life. And he goes as far to say that you're a fool. It's a chasid shoteh. He's a foolish tzaddik, foolish pious person. It's nonsense. It's foolishness to go put yourself in a major risk just to save somebody, even from 100% risk of death. And the argument that the Radvaz gives is very simple. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. We have to extend the courtesy, which is normal, what we expect others to love us back. But there is also another halacha that is just as important as love your neighbor as yourself, that says, yes, push comes to shove, your life always takes what? Precedence. Chayecha kodmin. That's why the famous case, if you only have 1 cup of water and you're about to die of thirst, you don't have to share it. Your life always takes precedence. So therefore, even a 50% chance of your life, the Radvaz says, it says, under God's law, under Torah law, God does not require you to put yourself at a substantial risk in order to save somebody's from 100% risk. Because again, going with the Talmudic and halachic concept that you always take precedence, even 50% chance of you living is more important than 100% chance of somebody else living. So therefore the Radvaz very vehemently and aggressively says, no, no, no. Do not put yourself at a substantial amount of risk to save somebody else's life. That's wrong, because your life is more valuable, and stay away from these major amounts of risk. Now, Rav Ovadia, with his encyclopedic knowledge, brings down that this is really the opinion of the Radvaz, which was the great posek, was a contemporary of Rav Yosef Karo, and was a great halachic authority in Egypt and later in Safad in Israel. Many of the Achronim, the later rabbis, also concur with this position, and they say, do not put yourself at a substantial amount of risk, because we also know there's a concept of kasher sakantam yisura. Right now we're in the time of Elul, Selichot. Now the beautiful thing, God is so gracious. Even if we commit the most sinister and terrible and horrible and harmful sins, you could always repent. And that's the miracle of Teshuvah and Yom Kippur. But if you put yourself at risk, nobody's going to bring you back resurrection from the dead. So again, playing with your life is not a joke. And God does not require for you to put yourself at a substantial amount of risk to even if you want to save somebody else's life from 100% risk. If you don't take action, the person will die. Just for your knowledge, the Balatanya, the founder of Chabad, the great Achron, in Siman Choshen Mishpat Shin Chavtet Siman Hey, also says that do not put yourself at a major 50-50 amount of risk to save somebody else's. For this reason, the chief rabbi of blessed memory, Dayan Weiss, Rav Yitzchak Weiss, the chief rabbi of Jerusalem for the Ashkenazim, Eida Charedit, his position is to forbid. You are not, he says, you are not allowed to give your kidney to save somebody else's life. And his logic is twofold. His logic is that of the Radbaz, that it's a major risk to you, and you're not required to put yourself at a major risk to save somebody else from 100% risk of death. And secondly, he says you never know. You may live to be 120. Some point in your life, your other kidney may fail, and you may need it. Your backup kidney. There's no guarantees in life, and it's just too dangerous, and there's no moral, halachic, or Torah obligation and he recommends against it. He says you should not become a kidney donor, even to save somebody else's life. And really, he bases his position fundamentally on that of the Radvaz that we spoke in length about. The other great halachic authority of the past generation, the Sitz Eliezer of Eliezer Wallenberg, which was the chief medical authority, medical ethic authority to Hadassah Hospital, many of the religious Israeli hospitals in Jerusalem and across Israel, he also basically concurs with that opinion. He's very reluctant to recommend people becoming kidney donors, but he does give a disclaimer. He says that in a situation where there's a whole team of expert doctors that could basically guarantee that you will not have any real risk, in that case, there's really no danger to your life, then he says he may allow it. Kuli hai ve'ulai. He's not so excited about allowing it, but he's not necessarily enthusiastically endorsing you to go ahead with it, but he says it may be permissible because now Rav Ovadia Yosef, with his fascinating and audacious, really Rav Ovadia, it's going to be his yortzeit. The Torah, God forbid, is like and our nation, especially us Sephardic Jews, we're like a ship without a captain. His clarity and he had the guts to talk about and go places where nobody else was going before, like he was the number one authority to allow agunot, women that their husbands were disappeared from the Israeli wars, to get remarried except after September 11th. So Rav Ovadia basically says his opinion is not that of, with all due respect to the Sitz Eliezer and the Minchas Yitzchak, Rav Weiss of blessed memory, the great geniuses. His opinion is that he personally consulted with many God-fearing and very religious surgeons in Israel, in Jerusalem, and they told Rav Ovadia that 99%, if it's done in an expert, world-class facility, the surgery of donating a kidney, they said 99% of the donors come out alive. So therefore, like if you give it here in Los Angeles, we have Cedar Sinai or UCLA, any of these world-class facilities that are the top in the country, Rav Ovadia says, listen, when did we say that you shouldn't put yourself at a risk? That's a major risk. That's talking about, me, why should I put myself at a 40-50% amount of risk? There's a major, 50-50, you flip the coin, I may not come out alive. That's why in very dangerous cases of saving somebody's life, you should just stay away. But this is only 1%. Therefore, Rav Ovadia says that even the Radvaz and all those people that don't go with the Yerushalmi would agree. Because Rav Ovadia says, Lo ta'amod al dam ra'echa. The Rambam and the Shulchan Aruch, everybody agrees. This is God said. Don't stand by while your friend's life is in danger. Now, everybody knows, for example, let's say there's a lion about to devour your friend. And you can throw a rock at the lion and you're 100 yards away. Or you could scare off the lion. There is a minimal amount of risk that the lion may come after you because you're not allowing him to have his dinner or lunch. Or if somebody's drowning. There is an argument to be made that if heaven forbid somebody's about to drown, he may, when you jump into the water, he may be so heavy, he's going to bring you down also. Or, for example, saving somebody's life by calling the police. If the robbers see you calling the police, they may come after you technically. So by definition, saving somebody's life has a very, very minimal amount of risk to you. So therefore, Rav Ovadia, basically, to read it from inside, says that since this risk is so minimal, is only 1%, and thank God technology and medicine is only advancing by the year and literally by the day. So Rav Ovadia comes to the conclusion and says, "V'lachen nir'eh sha'ikar la'alacha shemutar." Rav Ovadia says not only is it allowed to be a kidney donor, it's also a mitzvah, because we know whenever you save a life of a Jew, it's like you saved the entire world. Like the Jews gave that ring to Schindler's List. It's from the Talmud in Sanhedrin. Because that person is going to go ahead and have potentially hundreds and thousands of descendants himself. So it's okay to give one of your kidneys, obviously, to save your friend or family's life. And we're talking about a Jew, a fellow Jew here. V'ra'ui mitzvazu, and Rav Ovadia says, this mitzvah of saving a life is so precious and is so enormous. The energy of the mitzvah should be a shield to even save you from that 1% or very, very minimal amount of danger. Mikol makom, of course, this surgery should be done under the authority and under the eye of the best surgeons you can get and the best hospital, and it should be done very and v'shomer mitzvah lo yeda'ara. And Rav Ovadia says, of course, whenever you do a mitzvah, especially such a precious mitzvah of saving somebody's life, you should never see harm. And may God really send health to all the sick people, whether it's physical health or spiritual and psychological health, to all the sick people of Israel and all the world. Shalom, shalom l'rachok v'l'karov. There should be peace to the people that are near us and the people that are far away from us. Oseh shalom b'mumav. May the God that grants peace in the heavens grant peace to all of the world and all of Israel. Amen. Please don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day.